Still saying device not connected. Hey, yo, we live, we live. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? And be wise. We are here for another one. I think it's episode 15. Another banger. Bryce Young. I am here with
Hey, Trigger's here on time this week, ladies and gentlemen. How about it?
Trigger. He's about 10 minutes late, but it's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah. All right. If you coming out naked, I need to cut my camera off. Let me know. We live for the whole world. All right. Okay. That's all
Man,
right. I don't want to get in trouble by Dr. Umar gonna get me. Dr. Umar gonna discredit
no,
me, bro.
no, not Dr. Umar. No.
They gonna discredit me, bro. My brother, how can you be about your community when you are not giving into your community?
Hmm. Hey,
Nigga, what?
love who you love, man. Love who you love.
Nigga, what? Nigga, what we talking about?
Love who you
Oh,
love.
oh God. Here we go. Oh, she ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna make it. That's your dumb ass good. You ain't gonna why you gonna cut it on? You can't sit in the tub before you cut the water on. It's hot. The fuck? White people. I'm sorry. We about to get canceled. Everybody, I'm married to a white woman. That's why we were just making a whole. If you didn't get it, that's why we did it. All right. So I'm about to tell everybody we live. We got to get malls in here somehow. We are live. Yo, okay. Trigger. How you
All
doing,
right,
brother?
what
How's
you
your
got?
week
I'm
going?
good, man. I'm good. How are
How's your,
you? Your vacation
how's
down in
I'm
Florida?
good, man. I'm good,
Yeah,
man. We just got
my
in last night.
okay, yeah, my dad is actually down that way. Yeah, my sister I think is coming down there tomorrow. So
Okay.
yeah,
Anything
they
special
all
or just
good.
New Year?
They Disney World, Disneyland, whichever
Okay.
one it is.
Oh, we going tomorrow. That's when we going. We going tomorrow. They gonna be tomorrow. We
That's
gonna probably see him. We ain't. I don't know if we're gonna see him, but Disney World. And they said that joint gonna be at 10. Everybody gonna be there. Everybody gonna be there tomorrow.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, my dad usually goes down there. They try to go down there every Christmas in Orlando, and I have not been able to get down there yet,
Cause you
unfortunately.
work all the Christmases. Hey, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Lynchburg Fire Station 6, 12, 6, 7.
6, brother, you had it.
6, okay. Fire Station 6. Come on, man. Let my man off for Christmas next year so we can do a family trip. Because we at Disney World, bro, with all the kids and everybody. Like, uh, we paid a lot for this trip, but if we do it for a whole year, it's minimal for all of us. And
Hmm.
it'll be a great time for everyone. It'll be a truly, we could all just go have fun as friends, as family. And like, yeah, yeah. Like, we're in an Airbnb. It's us, all the kids, Brittany, and my mom, and we have plenty of space. And we probably could fit about 4 more people in here.
Okay.
So ain't got no pool. We had a pool back, but we can get some of the pool because we get something big, set it up, get the family. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be warm. We got
Hmm.
basketball games we can go to. Got football games we can go to. Like we could do everything we want to do in a whole week or how we got to do it, even a weekend. Because basketball game's Friday, and if I want to stay in Jacksonville for extra night on Sunday, I could because we don't go back to work till Tuesday. Well, I don't go back to work till Tuesday. Uh, and go see the Panthers play in Jacksonville. Like it's that's why I'm like, yo, we could, yeah, we gotta plan something. We gotta plan something. Everybody. I think we could do a trip like that.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know.
Definitely doable.
And then we didn't say it to the world now, so now we gotta be accountable. It's accountable now. Whoever watching, you gotta hold us accountable and make sure we get on it. Make sure we do it. But Trigger, I'm gonna let you go on your thing, go on your tirade, and go ahead and talk about your Dallas Cowboys who took the L. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't got the standings for the thing, but Carolina almost won that game. You was a little nervous. Hey, I mean, I called it, but y'all go ahead and talk. Go ahead, Trigger. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'm disappointed that we lost. Obviously, um, Yeah, I mean, the same old. And I mean that, in more than one way. Like, first of all, same old, go on the road this season against a quality team and we come away with an L. Same old also at the uh, same Cowboys team we see every year, run through the regular season. In the last few weeks, you start to see the wheels come off a little bit, start doing some things that we weren't accustomed to seeing during the regular season, and then they carry it into the playoffs. And obviously, we all know how that ends once they get into the playoffs. Um, I still feel hopeful for my team. I think they can beat Detroit at home because finally they're going home. They've been perfect at home this year, 7-0. Um, Detroit's tough. They're going to run the ball. They have a great running back duo in David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, and obviously a stud in Amon-Ra St. Brown, the receiver. They got other weapons. Sam Laporta, the rookie, who's basically been one of the best tight ends in football this season. Um, and obviously Jared Goff, behind center. The offensive line is great. Um, I think defensively they can be had a little bit. And they're not world beaters. I think we can move the ball up and down on the field on them a little bit. My concern will be just like it was against the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins is can our defense get stops when they absolutely have to have them? And they didn't play bad against Miami, uh, but I thought towards the end there when the Cowboys went down and they scored the touchdown that put them up 20-19.
What's up, brother? How you doing? Can you
Last
hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
you know
Okay. How you
what?
doing, brother?
When y'all be in the middle of y'all little conversations, when I jump on here, no
Hey,
one
no, I
stops.
speak. I speak.
No,
I
no one
speak now.
stops
Shut
and
up. I speak
acknowledges
now. Since you
me
said something. Since
for
you
a
said something,
good
I speak now.
5
I
minutes.
speak since you said something. Since you said
But as
something, I
soon
speak.
as
Don't you
I'm in the
say that.
middle of
Don't
saying
you?
some
Don't you
stuff
tell that
and
John
you
Brown
jump
lie,
on
boy.
here,
You
he
telling that
cuts right
John
in.
Brown lie.
I was
I
sitting
want
here
you to tell
talking
whoever
by
threw that brick
myself.
through my window.
This man went away,
Whoever threw
disappeared,
that brick through my
all that.
window.
As soon as you hop on here, he come back,
Look,
and
he
the rest of
lying. He
y'all
is
agree.
lying. He is lying. He lying.
Yeah.
Look,
What's
Second
going on?
America.
But
Second
yeah.
America, he lying.
Let Trigger finish
He
what he had to
lying,
say.
Second America. He is lying. Look, we
Yeah.
recording and recording. We recording and recording. Look, I'm gonna use this in court. I'm telling you, hey, you getting recorded. I ain't in Virginia. I'm in Florida, so I can record you actually. So yeah, 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 yeah,
Anyways, before I was interrupted, uh,
yeah. I got you. You on candid. You on candid
when
cameras. Candid
Dallas
cameras.
Dallas went up 2019, and it was about four
So,
minutes left
up,
in the
man.
game.
How you doing?
And I'm like, okay, if they go down and they
Ski.
score, we might have a little bit of time to get the ball back, go down, kick a field goal, whatever we need to do to win it. Um, but Miami, like the way they managed the clock and used the run game to do it on that final possession was textbook. Like that's we didn't see the ball again, and our defense could not stop them, and actually helped them put them in field goal range with a 15-yard face mask penalty, of course, because wouldn't be the Cowboys if they didn't commit some kind of personal foul penalty and give a good team, an extra advantage that they don't need. Um, and that's another thing too. I'll touch on in a little bit is the penalties, but our defense, for what how the game went, you know, we only held them to one touchdown. Excuse me. We only held that high-powered Dolphins offense to just one touchdown, and they hit 5 field goals, three of which came from 50 plus, and were barely made from a kicker who wasn't great from kicking from 50 yards or more. Go
I
figure,
thought
right?
he was the next. I thought he was the second coming a couple weeks ago.
Jason Sanders? No.
Come
I
on, the
mean, he's
Dolphins kicker?
Oh, I thought you was talking. I thought you were talking about y'all kicking the Cowboys. No, I'm
nah.
sorry.
Jason
No,
Sanders.
no, no.
No, I'm sorry.
He's
I'm
mid.
sorry.
He's
No,
mid.
okay. No. Yeah, he is. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
but
is. Yeah.
anywho,
Never mind.
if I've said it once on this show, I've said it 1,000 times, man. Games are won and lost long before that last drive by the Miami Dolphins. That did not lose us a game. The fact that our defense did not stop them on that drive and gave them a game-winning field goal did not lose us that game. We lost that game in the first quarter when Tony Pollard could not get in the end zone. The man got
Y'all
tackled.
missing Zeke. Y'all missing
How?
that
How?
Zeke boy.
Someone tell me
Zeke
how in
over
the
there.
hell? How in the hell did this man's lower body make it across the goal line and the football doesn't? How you get tackled facing the other way? And then come back the very next play. I don't know who to
Because the
blame it on, the
person,
quarterback
hey,
or the
we back.
fullback.
Y'all still we back. We back.
I don't know who to blame it on, the quarterback or the fullback, but the handoff obviously wasn't clean. We fumbled the ball, and then they pick it up, and we leave 7 points right there at the damn goal line. That's what lost us the game. Those 7 points right there. We score that touchdown, and the rest of the game goes how it went. The Cowboys win that game. Hell,
Can I interject?
if
Can I
Sanders
interject?
missed one of those field goals that he kicked from 50 plus, we win that game without scoring that touchdown.
Can I interject, Trigger, to answer both
Sure.
of those? Shout out to our sponsor, Nugenics. They got my hairline back. You see, it's coming in. Yeah, see. Shout out to our sponsor, Nugenics. We up there with the Big Hurt and Doug Flutie and them. Shout out. But no, the other people get paid too. Jason Sanders, yeah, he mid, but he earned his paycheck the other day, and
He did.
and they get paid on the other side of that ball too, very well too.
Oh yeah, I know it. I know they do.
And
But
the
the
Cowboys
Cowboys,
get paid very well, and they do the same old Cowboy shit all
yeah,
the time.
that fumble,
Tony
like it
Pollard, that
wasn't.
was it's
Like,
you
you
let
gotta
up.
get in there.
You
You
got out
gotta get
effort.
in there.
You got out effort. You got
You
out
gotta
effort.
get in there. You got to get in there. And he kind
That's
of
the
cut up.
second.
He kind of cut himself off on that run. I thought he could get to the corner of the end zone, kind of stretch it out a
He
little
let
bit,
up.
get there.
He let
And
up.
he stopped and tried to go inside, and he didn't power through. And he
That's the
like had
second
flipped
game
around,
y'all done lost
like
on the 1 yard line, the 1 inch line. Second game
yeah,
y'all lost
yeah.
on 1 inch.
That first game against Philadelphia, you look at that game. I mean, it's 2 games right there. We're
Y'all will
talking
be number
inches
one.
here.
Y'all will be number one in the
Talking
NFC.
inches
Y'all
here.
got home field advantage
That's the
and
difference
not
between
have to go on the road
that's the difference between
and face
12-3 and 10-5 right now.
facing
Literally
Baker
2
Mayfield.
inches. But again, like I said, the defense wasn't terrible because we did keep them out the end zone. We held them to field goals. Our offense moved the ball okay. We just couldn't put up 7. And like I said, the one turnover we had
That's the
killed us.
same old.
And then the
Y'all can't ever
penalties.
score in the red zone.
Again, the
That's
penalties.
why Kellen Moore got fired.
It's like some people are like, this is the Cowboys, this is how they are. Like that can't be changed. Like penalties, that can be fixed. That can be addressed. Like I don't understand why. Like, do the coaches not have some kind of consequences or repercussions for guys committing the same things over and over and over again? Like it's costing us games.
Can I ask you a question, Trigger? You said it can be fixed. Why hasn't it been? It's been 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. If it can be fixed, like somebody fix it. Like do something. Find them. Make them run up downs. You got to do something.
Make them run. Nigga, I got 10
do
million in the bank. I ain't running. Get out. Trade me.
You got to do something. I mean, this is how it was back in the in the early '90s with the Jimmy Johnson teams. Man, Jimmy was hard on those guys. Like it wasn't because they made a certain amount of money or you guys all getting paid being athletes and getting all full of themselves or whatever. They still had to answer to him. There was a level of fear
Jimmy
that
Johnson
if
about
you
to
were
come be the
out of
GM at
line,
Carolina.
and that if you did something that wasn't acceptable, there was repercussions for that, and it got them on the right path. Like they responded, and it did them some good. Like there's got to be something in place. Like years ago, I want to go back and say when Antonio Brown, y'all remember when he had the phone in the locker room that was recording, post games, whatever. Mike Thomas, and Antonio Brown, one of the biggest diva receivers, in the league at that time, and Mike Tomlin addressed the situation and said that don't worry, the situation has been handled in house. Like that's kind of stuff I like to hear. Like me as an athlete, when I hear that, I know, okay, behind closed doors, they did something to say, hey, that wasn't acceptable, and it wasn't just like a fine, or it was something more to that. Like that, they physically did something to that man to get him back, on the straight and narrow, at least for the time being.
Didn't he
So
get traded or released soon after all that? On that like part of the
No,
ongoing saga.
that
no,
was he
I
got
On that
mean,
released
part
no,
of the
2 years
ongoing
later.
saga.
no. These guys have
That's
been
part of
playing
the
football.
ongoing like
These guys have been playing
downfall.
football all their lives, and they know there was consequences and actions to everything that they did, and like there was
But
always
no,
something.
but hold on, Trigger. I'm gonna go back because now you said the Mike Tomlin reference. Look what happened with George Pickens and Deontay Johnson, whining, complaining, and getting that same stereotype of Pittsburgh receivers, the divas. Oh, I don't want to block like that nitty gritty toughness we handle it indoors. If we handle it indoors and we do this and we like that, then you blocking and you selling out and you making sure you make that
Well,
play.
Yeah,
here's the
So
thing.
yeah, that's a good
Here's the
point. But
thing. The
there's a time. It's been some time though. Maybe these guys just now that just I don't know. Maybe they need a new voice in the locker room at this point.
the game has
Starting to get
changed
better.
since Jimmy was coach.
yeah,
These players make way too much money. They have way too much control. Back then Jimmy, they didn't have free agency back then. So if Jimmy cut you, that could have been your career. These
yeah, that's
players
it.
make too
Ball
much
game.
money. You can't really, do what Jimmy did back 30 years ago. And I mean, it's just sad.
No, I just feel like it
Especially
just
when you just need to be on the
something, man.
roster with 3
Why is
years.
it that these other teams aren't committing as many penalties as we are? We're the most penalized team in football. Why is
Well,
that?
yeah.
Nobody else is up there. No one else is doing this as much as we are. Maybe a few teams, but not everybody. Why they playing disciplined football and we can't?
I mean, it's the head coach. I mean, he had high penalties in Green Bay. He had high penalties in Dallas. It's one common denominator. I don't know what he's doing. He's either,
And
like
he
you
can't.
said, he's not doing nothing about it, he's accepting it, or he's coaching it.
Don't
And
believe
I don't
it.
see it changing why he's a head coach. This is who he is.
It's goofy.
Yeah, I
Goofy.
don't know,
What
but
you
it, like you
mean?
would think, when it starts costing you games, man, you got to do. I don't know. I
Maxie.
mean, I can't fathom. I don't know what the answer is, but I feel like if other teams are like the good teams that are in the top of the league or being talked about every week will go out, perform, and show up, like they're not doing these things to hurt themselves and beat themselves on a weekly basis. Like, and we are.
I agree.
It's stupid and like undisciplined penalties, and they're untimely. Third down, fourth down situations where we're about to get off the field, and we keeping drives alive. And like I always say, if you keep giving teams chances to score, eventually they're going to score. Doesn't matter if they're good or bad in the NFL. If you keep letting them get chances, they will put the ball in the end zone on you.
I think that touchdown Miami scored. I think the play before they had Dallas had a rough in the passer. It was third down. They had a rough in the passer, and then they had a fresh set it down. So if you
Yep,
look at it, they could have not allowed any touchdowns.
right. That's true. So
So
you can obviously
Wap Daddy,
attribute
Bunny,
that
how y'all doing?
as
Welcome. Thank
well.
y'all. Thank y'all. How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all
The
tuning in.
offense is horrible. Yeah, the defense was on the field a lot. We went three and
I
out
don't
late
want to hear
some
that. I
times.
don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Y'all defense
But
supposed to
again,
be
for them to be on
the
the
best
field as much as they
defense.
were, for
The
them to be
best
on the
defense in the
field,
world.
for them to be on the field as much as they were, they did pretty good holding them to just field goals and only one offensive touchdown. Talking about one of the
Hey,
highest scoring football teams in the league this season. Like
hey,
Dallas,
you
hey,
want to
those,
talk?
those were the top two teams we saw in the league in scoring.
and still managed to
Y'all did
lose.
keep
This
it
is
close.
what I say. They
Y'all
I
are
did
just
keep
an
it
wish
close.
accident.
I
They
just
are an
wish on that
accident waiting
last
to happen.
drive they could have held them, to another field goal or something and got the ball back.
Wap Daddy,
Um,
stop playing the comments and join in. I'm gonna send you an invite.
but
You don't gotta play the comments.
Well,
yeah,
Trigger, this is why I said I
that's what
have
it
no
comes down
faith
to.
in them. I don't even get upset when they lose. This is who they are, and they will be out the playoffs either the Martin Luther King weekend or the weekend after. This is
Yeah,
just
like
who
I
they
said,
are.
man, I'm still hopeful about it.
Mm.
If they go and lose this game to Detroit on Saturday, then
Appreciate
I'm
you
gonna be
tuning
worried.
in. Appreciate you. Hey,
I will be worried.
I ain't
San
worried. I
Fran
already
ain't
know what's gonna happen.
I'm worried about San Fran now. They ain't look. Hey, Brock Purdy. He took his MVP and said,
I'm
"Do that
not
bitch to
worried
the
about
other.
San Fran
Do
at
it to
all.
Lamar."
Here's here's the thing with the San Fran
That
Ravens
look
game.
bad. How bad y'all lost? The way y'all lost, it looks worse now
Yeah, it was worse
in my
because the
mind. It
49ers
looks
actually didn't.
way worse.
The 49ers didn't play a bad game. It was self-inflicted stuff that they did. It was nothing that
I don't
Baltimore
know.
actually
Not that
did to
San
them.
Fran Monday.
I mean, Brock Purdy
Oh
threw
no,
four
yeah, you're right.
picks.
They are going Super Bowl because they're gonna have to face the Ravens again
They
because they're gonna beat
going they
everybody in the NFC.
I'm not worried about San Fran at all. All the mistakes they made were self-inflicted. Brock Purdy had a terrible game, probably the worst game he's played as a starting quarterback. And the
Mm-hmm.
Ravens capitalized. That's all they did. They capitalized off his turnovers, but they moved the ball down the field on them pretty easily, and they outgained them in total yards, rushing yards, passing yards. I mean, everything else they were up in. The only category they lost was the turnover category. And if you turn the ball over that many times, you're probably gonna lose, no matter how many yards you get or whatnot. But San Fran, from what I was seeing, the little bit of the game that I watched, they were moving the ball pretty well. It's just, Brock Purdy made some bad decisions and turned the ball over. And a couple balls got tipped up into the air. And the Ravens, I saw the one package that was batted at the line of scrimmage, and the Ravens picked it off. I saw another one that bounced off a receiver, and the Ravens defender caught it. So, he had two interceptions that were kind of, dicey. The one he tried to throw into the end zone, that was on him. He was a little late on that one. And I don't really remember the fourth pick he threw. And he almost threw a fifth one, but he didn't. But I think the Ravens were very opportunistic in those. And, they got those turnovers and they went down and they, took advantage of them. And that's what lost San Fran that game at home. But I think if these two teams meet up again, I don't think Brock Purdy will have a bad game again against that team, or at least he won't play that bad. Because Chris McCaffrey was still running the ball pretty good. Um, Brandon Ayuk had a great game. George Kittle had a couple catches. Um, it was just, and they moved the ball fine. Um, I mean, I don't really know what other any other bad thing to say about them other than the fact that they just did the turnovers. Obviously, Baltimore played well too. They did what they had to do. If a team gives you the ball four extra times, then obviously you want to take advantage. But we've been seeing the same thing from the Ravens that we've been seeing most of the season. Lamar Jackson, doing what he can to make those plays. The defense obviously making plays as well. Lamar Jackson's numbers haven't been blowing anybody out the water. He hasn't thrown for a ton of touchdowns. Um, doesn't have a lot of turnovers. But I mean, they just kind of the Ravens just kind of a grinded out team. Like they don't have a lot of blowout victories on their schedule with all the teams that they played. But they've won a few games, and they've just kind of grinded.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to do, especially at this point in the season, and in the playoffs when everybody's good. It's going to come down to grinding out football games. Like you're not going to blow out every team that you play against, and if you can show that you can do those things where you can grind out games, it might not be pretty. You might not dominate in the way that you want to dominate, or you might not win in the fashion that you picture yourself winning. But if you can just grind it out, like the Eagles were doing before they hit that losing streak. They were surviving. They went 3-4 weeks in a row where they were barely getting by, but they were grinding out, getting those wins, and then it caught up with them. But I think that's a good attribute to have for a football team, a championship football team, is the ability to grind games out, no matter what hand you're dealt during that game. In terms of if y'all are turning the ball over, the other team's giving you opportunities, or somebody goes down, or somebody has a bad game, or being able to overcome those things and find ways to grind out victories. The Ravens have shown that they can do that very well, and those teams are the dangerous teams to play against. But I'm not worried about San Fran at all. I don't think the Ravens exposed them. I think Brock Purdy had a few bad throws, and we don't normally see that from him. A couple of unlucky bounces as well mixed in there. But the 49ers played offense and got the yardage that they normally get. They just didn't have the points because of the turnovers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think they go on to score on some of those possessions. It would have been a lot closer games. Maybe they even win the game if they hadn't had all those turnovers. Because they, like I said, they outgained them pretty much in every other major statistical category that will point to a team winning a game.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still think they're the favorites in the NFC, San Fran. Because nobody else, Detroit's been playing well, but I still don't trust them just quite yet. Um, they've shown me a couple things. They've won a couple of tough road games against decent teams this year. They look good when they play. I think after the loss to the Bears by double digits, I just kind of had questions about Detroit. Okay, are they real? Or are they not? I think Detroit it's open on both. The AFC, the NFC. Like you got the Ravens, you got the 49ers, but
And you got the Carolina Panthers. You got
the
the
next,
goddamn Carolina Panthers. You
but
got
on the
the Carolina
AFC
Panthers.
side, on the AFC side, or in the NFC side, like
Carolina
the
Panthers.
second best team, the third best team, like it's like there's no clear cut favorites. You got the Ravens on the AFC, the 49ers in the NFC, and after that, it's like who else is there? Like it can literally be anybody. Anyone makes the playoff has a chance this year. Um, it's like the MVP, race. Like who's gonna be the MVP? Like I feel like it's a toss up right now. I don't know who has the lead in that one. It doesn't look like Tyreek Hill is going to get. Oh my gosh! It doesn't look like Tyreek Hill is going to get to 2,000 yards. So does he win MVP still? I didn't realize CeeDee Lamb was only a couple hundred yards behind him.
Yo, what up,
With the
Ethos?
receivers.
What up, Ethos? How you doing? Who y'all telling to breathe and
Hey,
drink water?
oh my goodness.
Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in, Ethos.
Yeah, but I
I mean,
don't know who I'd say Detroit will probably be the next best team behind San Fran in the NFC because of consistency. I mean, they had the loss, like I said, to Chicago, but Philly had the 3-game losing streak. Dallas is currently on a 2-game losing streak. Detroit, they've been winning here recently more than those two teams. But I still, if I were to take Detroit in the matchup against Philly or against Dallas, I probably wouldn't. Um, I don't know. It's a toss up between who's going to give San Fran their best matchup, or who's going to match up better against San Fran. And none of those teams can probably beat San Fran, but I don't know.
yeah, I think San Francisco's team to beat Detroit still, like you said, Detroit still has their issues. Philly and Dallas, and then I will say the Rams are up and coming. I think they're the sleeper team.
Yeah, they've been playing sneaky good here as of late. Them and the Seahawks too. I would not put anything past them if they both find a way into the playoffs. Because Seattle, even the game against us, they were very, they did everything right. Like they had the one interception, but the Cowboys didn't do anything with it. So it kind of canceled out. But Seattle, I mean, was neck and neck with us, and Dallas was able to knock them off with some heroics at the end there. And then they go on, they beat Philly with their backup, which obviously doesn't look good for Philly. You lose to Drew Lock. But yeah, Seattle's been playing. Like they're scary. Now they have great upset potential. Them and the Rams. So yeah, absolutely 100% wouldn't sleep on them. And wouldn't sleep on Tampa Bay either from Dallas. Dallas gets that 5th seed, and Tampa Bay wins the NFC South. Not the Panthers, but the Buccaneers. Winning the NFC South again. The Buccaneers, not the Panthers. Um, you know,
Carolina Panthers
I would
going
not
to
hope
the South.
Dallas goes into Tampa Bay with the mindset of, we'll do what we did to them last year because, even though a lot of those guys are still on that team, it's still a very different Tampa team you're getting versus the one you played last year. Yes, the record doesn't say that they're very good, but they've been playing good. They're on a current 4-game win streak, and they just absolutely handled the Jacksonville Jaguars this past Sunday. I mean, handled them. And this Jaguars team is supposed to be a playoff contender. So that may be saying something. It may not be saying anything. Depends on who you talk to. But I thought for them to play that way against that team, Mike Evans had the day that he had.
He's naked.
I mean, these guys, you can't sleep on them. Can't sleep on them. So that's probably more than likely what will end up happening. Dallas will get that 5 seed. We end up in Tampa Bay. And, hopefully they come to play. Because if not, they will get beat. And I won't be surprised if they go and lose to a Tampa Bay team on the road. Again. It's been a constant issue.
I said that. I told you that was going to happen.
With Dallas losing to Tampa Bay in the first round?
Yes, sir. Especially with Baker out here breaking records.
I expect Dallas to win that game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost it.
My forehead shining.
Wouldn't be surprised if they lost. But they're good at home. I think they'll beat Detroit this Saturday, and then they'll go on and beat
Beijing over here. Ain't no Beijing over here.
On the last week of the season.
We went to Turkey.
They'll finish 12-5 for the third year in a row.
So Dallas?
Yeah. And then they'll go.
So they ain't 13-3 no more. It's 12-5.
The 5th seed. They'll go in as a 5th seed to the Tampa Bay. And we'll see what happens.
All right, Trigger. Now, give me your assessment on another one. Number one, you too. Now, number one draft pick. How did he look in your eyes? How did he look in your eyes? How did he look in your eyes?
He looked like a quarterback.
Number one draft pick.
2-12 team.
This one right here. 312 yards, 2 pass touchdowns. He looked better than Dak. He looked better than Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak didn't have a bad game on Sunday.
He looked better than Dak Prescott.
He
looked better than Dak. It's been 2. It's been 2.
No,
I even need 3.
Dak did not play terrible.
My boy got.
Could he have been better? Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't play
my
bad.
boy was a second away from having 3 game-winning drives in a 3-13 season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that's big. 3 game winners. He went 95 in the rain.
Yeah, and he went 13 in year 2023.
I went 95.
We're gonna come back. We're coming back next year.
Yeah, y'all
gonna be in the same place with that.
Y'all gonna win 4 games next year.
Hey, no, we're gonna win our division.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna win our division.
Win next year?
With the NFC South,
especially since I learned that we got Ejiro signed for another year or 2, and his agent's Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson's coming to Carolina. I think it's a done deal, but we coming. Depending on these last 2 games, how we look, we coming because we beat the Packers. We almost beat the Packers defense with Jair Alexander. We didn't have Baker where he didn't go against Jair Alexander. We took on a Packers defense that had Jair Alexander and Bryce Young. Stop playing. With the way we've been playing, the way our offensive line has been looking, and then look what happened when you give Bryce time. You give him time. Look how our weapons look. DJ Shark look like a number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Tommy Tremble look like a developed tight end.
Football is a very important sport. Y'all very well could win the NFC South next year. I'm not
top 3 defense. If we get the guards settled, we get another receiver. If we get a Justin Jefferson. If Justin Jefferson is like, hey, I'm done with Minnesota. Think about if Bryce gets a Justin Jefferson. We can win 9 games and win our division.
Brandon,
we can win 9 games and win our division.
Brandon,
especially with
you sound like WAP every time the Cowboys get eliminated from the playoffs. All we got to do is sign this, that, and the third, and we're champions.
No.
And it still ain't happening.
You can see. No, y'all still sign it. Y'all just don't. Y'all got to curse. I think we're gonna see. This the weekend y'all put them in, right? This the weekend y'all put them in, right?
Put who in?
So we're gonna see if the curse Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
y'all put him in this weekend.
He's getting inducted into the Ring of Honor at halftime of the game on Saturday. We're gonna see if this curse thing is really real.
Hey,
I
look, y'all
told
see I'm
y'all.
back. I'm coming back.
I told y'all. Jimmy Johnson goes to the Ring of Honor and the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl.
Nope.
If y'all win the Super Bowl, y'all set for the next 50 years. That's all y'all talking about. Y'all win the Super Bowl, y'all set for the next 50 years.
Oh, we ain't got to do nothing else for another 40 years after that one.
Y'all win the Super Bowl, that's it, brother.
All them
Hey, y'all
damn
remember that one in
VHS,
2023? Y'all remember that one in 2023, though?
all them damn VHS jokes and the old damn cheerleader jokes out the window for the next 20 years.
Grandpa, that's in 4K.
Mm-hmm. 40 years.
Why are you watching those 4K highlights?
Yep, they ain't winning nothing. They be out in mid-January.
Hey, y'all might, yo, y'all
What
might,
I said
y'all
is,
might.
I said they're gonna go what 2-3 in December. What's their record in December right now? 1-2.
I
Hey,
think so.
Mm-hmm. I said when
I
after the
think,
Philly game, they're gonna win 3 straight, and then they're
hey,
gonna go
Bryce
two
one
and
and
three
two.
in December.
Bryce 1 and 2. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all. I got Lamar, Josh Allen, and Dak for MVP right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Tua Tyreek
I
MVP
got
right now.
Tua and Lamar and Tyreek. I think
I believe. Go ahead.
I think whoever performs well in that Miami Baltimore game will have the notch.
I think it's the same like this week. It like you just how you said Brock Purdy and Lamar. Like who got? Yeah, it ain't Brock.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't Brock. So now it goes to all right. Is it Tua and Tyreek, or is it Tua with Tyreek getting shut down by the Baltimore defense and throwing 150 to Jalen Waddle, or is it Lamar Jackson battling and throwing 220 on that Baltimore defense
I
and
do
winning the
like that.
game?
I do think they should be co MVPs, Tua and Tyreek.
Yeah,
This
honestly,
happened before.
like
I
because
think it was what Steve McNair and Peyton Manning won the MVP the same year.
but that goes back to my thing with what you say later about Carolina. Look what Tua was before he got Mike McDaniel. Like McDaniel, look what he was. It's pretty much what Bryce Young is right now. That's exactly what it is. You get rid of a coach, you put a good offensive scheme in him, get him a solid defense, which we already have. Our defense is built. We a Tyreek Hill away. We a Tyreek Hill away. That's all I'm saying. We thought it was
Just
DJ Shark.
a
It was
now
DJ
Tyreek
Shark
Hill.
last. It was DJ Shark last week. Our defense broke last week, but
Yeah, so now you say you're
I'm telling you,
Tyreek away. How are you gonna get this Tyreek?
second round, we get Xavier Worthy from Texas,
Okay.
or any of the this. Hey, this draft is deep at receiver. Ooh, the corner's back too. This draft is deep at receiver. So I'm not. We'll talk about that later on. We do it. We're gonna have to start getting into some scouting fellas and who y'all looking at. And Miles, you can even come from the high school ranks. Who you looking at? And what schools they going to? Who you got? Who can be some dogs from the area? So I want to talk about that too because I think JMU athletics looking good in everything right now. Basketball, football, Virginia Tech. They trying to make a resurgence. I know that girls basketball. So we got a lot of sports, but that's one of us. But that's all I'll go back to say. Bryce Young is. I think he could be a Ben Johnson away. A Ben Johnson away because we got DJ Chark, we got an Adam Thielen, we got Jonathan Mingo, we got Amir Smith Marset, so he could be our Tyreek Hill return man extraordinaire. Who I'm just we hey
You got all these pieces, a top 5 defense. So yeah, you're one receiver away. So why are y'all still 2-13?
coaching. We hired a coach that got fired in the middle of last season, and he wanted the guy. He wanted C.J. Stroud. We get C.J. Stroud. We're the Texans. If
Look
we
what the
get
Raiders
C.J. Stroud,
doing. They fired their coach in the middle of the season, and they're winning games.
they got to
They win
yeah
a game
with
where a
Devontae
quarterback can
Adams.
complete a pass in the
With
last 3 quarters.
Devontae Adams.
Hmm?
With Devontae Adams and then
Yeah,
Max
yeah. The
Crosby on the
quarterback
other
didn't
side.
complete a pass in the last 3 quarters. He went 9 for 21.
Who was the rushing yards leader last year?
Who? Josh
What
Jacobs.
team did he
Okay.
play for? What team did he play
No,
for?
no, and that was
Okay.
in 20,
Okay. Okay.
2021.
No, it was last year. It was last year because it was his contract year. And that's what
Well,
they're
he didn't.
fighting
He didn't
about.
do
But I'm
nothing
just
in that
saying.
game.
I'm just saying. It's the same. It's the same offensive line. So you put anybody in there. Derek Carr was in there. You put anybody in there, it's gonna be that team. You don't got. They run the ball. That's who they are, and that's why Antonio Pierce is doing good because they just run the ball. You take it out of the quarterback hand so they can't make mistakes. We weren't running the ball. Since we started running the ball more, and we didn't have to put it in Bryce's hands as much, or his defense is sitting on routes. He's starting to flourish and get better once you get rid of that old archaic offense that can't focus on motions and the different nuances that you need in today's game. So that's what I'm saying. I get what you're saying. Yes, but you just watched it happen. You watched it happen and live this week. I watched it happen. I watched every game. This was Bama Bryce. This was Bama Bryce. If we have all watched Bama Bryce, I know Trigger, you watch Bama Bryce, and you know that Bama Bryce that was lighting y'all up in that SEC championship and that was the better Georgia defense. That was the better. Trigger will tell you that was the better Georgia defense that Bryce beat in that SEC championship game. And if he don't lose his receivers in that national championship game, he beat them then too.
And Trigger, 2:00 Sunday afternoon, you'll get a text, man. I hate Bryce. He's trash. Get rid of him.
Hey, what did I say? Nope. Put the context. Put the context around it.
They go to the game.
Put the context around it.
And in the end, he's like, all right, well, he ain't that bad. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. I understand.
What did the context say? I said he missed that shot with Thielen. Once I saw him missing those shots, I was like, come on, Bryce. Then he started getting on it, and I was like, all right. And then he started getting into that Bama mode. I was like, okay. Hey, Trigger can corroborate everything I'm saying. Trigger, that Bama Bryce against the better Georgia defense, right?
Yeah, they were a better defense when he played there. Yep.
They was a better defense. That's the Eagles. That's the Philadelphia Eagles defense. That's what I'm
some guys on that team that currently play with Philly right now.
Trigger, if his receiver don't get hurt in that national championship game, y'all lose, right?
No, I think so. No, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm just saying. If I was y'all, I'd rather have Bryce than Dak Prescott because y'all gonna have to pay Dak $53 million a year next year.
Okay, and when Bryce's contract comes, you have to pay him $60.
No, we give him a smooth 43.
You have to pay him whatever the market's paying.
But that's fine though. But y'all gonna have to pay Dak instead of going to Cooper Rush, who will probably win more games.
Stop.
Especially,
Mike McCarthy,
especially if you say Bryce is who he is, you gonna have to pay him $60 to $70 million when his contract comes up.
I don't know. I just hope Bryce ain't Russell Wilson.
You talking about getting and top 5 defense, because you got to get rid of some players to make room for that salary cap.
I can give you if you want me to go to my list. I got the list. If you want me, I can go through the list. I got to get the list up, brother. Hold on there. Trigger, have you seen the list? Who did that say? I think it was you keep. So we get rid of Jeremy Chin. You sign Brian Burns. You get it for $23 million a year now. Re-sign Frankie Louvu. J.C. Horn, if he plays like he's playing, we get him re-signed. You got to re-sign Big Grizzly. So, all right, cool. Bryce is on a rookie contract. I got 4 or 5 years.
You pay whoever you want to keep, Amber.
4 or 5 years to pay him right now.
That's your salary cap.
I got 4 or 5 years to pay him right now. But Bryce is one of these new age quarterbacks.
You do not have 4 or 5 years. If Bryce is that dude, he's gonna want a contract extension after
year 3. Year 3. Yes, I'll give you year 3.
But
hey,
4 or 5 years.
But you gotta you gotta realize because Bryce is also one of those Shohei Ohtani, Patrick Mahomes. Give me a 10-year, we'll work it out in the back. And then you have really 5 years in between that contract because you got the 2 years on the rookie contract, and then you have probably like a fluffy year that you're going to put more into cash and bonuses, and then till year 3, 4, 5, when hopefully, hey, you've gotten better, so let's rework it, or hey, you've gotten worse, so let's rework it. That's when that's really going to kick in because we know those 10-year contracts are fluff. That's why Patrick Mahomes just went in and restructured his contract. Hey, I'm not getting paid enough. But oh no, I did this so the cap could be no, okay. So I get all that. Yeah, I get all that. But I'm just saying. We got time to build instead of y'all having to give Dak 63 instead of Dak saying, hey, I'm not playing well and I don't show in big moments. I would be fine with $40 million. Let's take this somewhere else and what do we need to get better? What do we need that we can put this $13 million into? Or maybe this $20 million or this $30 million. That's what I feel Bryce would do instead of Dak. Well, I would say I would rather have Bryce in this situation.
Okay,
but Bryce also got his money fully guaranteed on the table. So he said his favorite movie paid in full. So Bryce may also be, and I ain't showing up. I ain't gonna show up. So I don't. It's all speculation, but I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all think Bryce should take a pay? I mean, not Bryce. Y'all think Dak should take a pay cut this year?
He ain't gonna take no pay cut. He ain't take a pay cut in the last contract negotiation. He don't
Y'all
believe I'm.
think is?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't. I
I'm
don't think
I'm just
he's gonna
saying. Do
do
y'all
that.
think he should? As fans, do y'all think he should take a
I
pay
mean,
cut?
yeah,
I
I
think
should. I
everybody should take
mean,
a pay
I
cut.
don't have his money.
Whoever.
I think they all should
Because
take a pay cut.
especially
I think they all take a
especially with
little
Michael
pay
got to
cut
come up.
because at the end of the day, I'm not a Dak Prescott fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I want all of them to take pay cuts. But at the end of the day, they got bills to pay. They got families to feed. They ain't gonna take no pay cut. I'm sure your boss will want you to take a pay cut, but I know you're not. You got 5 kids to
But
feed.
but Larry, I'm asking. I'm sorry, Miles. I'm asking. If I'm the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and this is me speaking, like if we lose it, I'm like, y'all know better. What do y'all need? If y'all that quarterback, well, shouldn't you be like, all right, I didn't made Dak didn't made a fortune, fortune with the franchise tags and Dak. You could sacrifice 3 years making
Here's
10 million,
here's the
but you
thing
got
you got
60 million
to
upfront
understand,
guaranteed.
Brandon. The NFLPA is not going to go for that. They're not going to want their players to take step backs. They want them to go forward. If that takes a pay cut, he will be ostracized by the NFL community. That's why they was upset with Tom Brady. Tom Brady said, "I don't care. My wife makes $60 million a year. I could do it." But Dak's wife don't make $60 million.
I don't. Dak made money. Tom Brady got 7 Super Bowls. So
Okay, but I'm just
I'm
saying that
I'm
if
just
Dak
saying.
would take a pay cut, the NFLPA will have his head.
So, but Dak, you've made enough money in your career. You
It
made a
ain't
lot
about
of
it ain't
money.
about how much money he's making.
You're a Dallas Cowboys
They're
fan.
trying to make these players get as
I
much money.
know
They
that.
don't
I
want to take
know.
a
I get
step
what you're
back.
trying to say.
They're
I get
yeah,
what you're
they're
trying to say.
trying to
But
make
you're
a
saying
point
that
about it.
that branch is going to cut his head off. But I'm saying that you could be like Brady and not worry about it. You're the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. That branch is not going to really have say over you. They're
I
they're
mean,
they're not
yeah.
going to have. Y'all would
Oh,
out.
I
Y'all would
agree with
outrule
you.
that.
I agree with you, but I know how the players are thinking. They ain't gonna go for it. But I agree with you. I'm just speaking in
But
reality. He ain't
but
going
you
for
also don't see him. But in the reality, I don't see Dak saying, "Hey, all right, I could do that." But me sign a 10-year, $500 million contract, like it don't make sense that way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what if that, you can't sit here and tell Dak, "Hey, I want to maximize, but also I want to maximize what I can make." So maybe like a veteran maximum. Let's say he made 20 million. This is what a veteran quarterback at my skill level will make.
it. 20
I mean,
million.
I'm just saying 20, 30 million. Let's be real. 30 million. 30 million. This is what a veteran at my level will make. I could make 53. I could make, but I'm trying to win ball games. I've made money over my career. I'm trying to win ball games. Cowboys Nation would you wouldn't even hear
And
about it
then
no more.
here's what's gonna
You
happen
wouldn't hear
when
about it no
Dallas
more. You
don't
wouldn't hear about
win.
it no more.
When Dallas is not winning. Dak is gonna be like, all right, now I done took a pay cut, and you still ain't picked the right players. I want my money. That's why
But if
Kobe.
it's
That's
no,
why
but
Kobe
that's
took
when
the
it
money
goes
he
to the
took.
players. But then that's when you're saying they don't pick the right players. I think Dallas picks the right players, but something doesn't always click because Dallas always has the right players. That's one thing I'll give Dallas. They always have the right players, but it's something that doesn't click when it's supposed to click when it should click. Like San Fran, everything clicks when it's supposed to click until it doesn't click, and it
To
didn't
the
click
playoff.
because Trent Williams got hurt. No, Trent Williams got hurt, and then once Trent Williams got it,
Well, yeah, well,
I mean that's not what
Him and
happened.
Debo are the two best players on offense. I will say they are
Yeah,
the two most important players on offense.
once
Christian
that if
McCaffrey.
you don't have Trent
Huh?
Williams, yeah,
Not
Yeah,
Christian
Christian
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, I give you
I
Christian
would
McCaffrey.
because where does Christian McCaffrey usually run the ball to the left?
But yeah, but like what? But listen, what happened when Trent Williams went away? We didn't hear about Christian McCaffrey those three
Yeah,
weeks.
and they lost 3 straight
We did not
games.
hear about Christian McCaffrey for 3 weeks.
Trent
He like
Williams is
he's back in
arguably
Carolina.
the best left tackle in the history of NFL football.
And I saw Jadavion Clowney in that game give Trent Williams some work.
Okay, he
He
had a
gave
bad
Trent
game.
Williams some work. I'm
Did
not
you
gonna say
see?
not one a bad game. He had a good game, but it's something that more people should do. Trent Williams like, I'm not gonna beat you. I'm just gonna throw you back into Brock Purdy. And I
Yeah.
don't get why he said I'm not gonna get past you. I'm not you gonna get. I'm just gonna push you as hard as you can into Brock Purdy. And I saw him do that a couple of times, and I think it really affected Brock
He
Purdy
had a bad
on a
game.
couple of those first drives. No, I
Yeah.
don't think it won a bad game because it won a bad
Oh,
game. It's if anything, it's a pressure, but it's just more of Jadavion Clowney being a smart player. Like I'm not gonna sit here and try to titty tat and try to run around and beat you. I'm gonna run through your face and put you in your quarterback's lap. And I don't think Trent was expecting that. And I think that was just I don't know if that was a strategy or if that was just him, Trent, just being like, "You're not getting past me." But from what I think Jadeveon was doing, he was just keep getting close to Brock. He kept getting close to Brock. Kept like, "I'm here, I'm here." Kind of like they say about Derek Carr. If you get near him, he starts to get rattled. Like, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here," because Brock Purdy's not used to that, and it's all right. How well do you do with NFL pressure? And I think we saw what happened when he do with NFL pressure.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's
I
the
mean, he only
last
threw
pick of the
one
NFL
pick.
draft for a reason. I mean, there's a reason why he got picked last. I mean, he's good, but is he this transitional quarterback? I don't think. I think it's more so the system. He's got the best offensive line. He's got the best running back, the best fullback, the best tight end, 2 number 1 receivers, a Hall of Fame left tackle, and an offensive wizard at coach, and the number 1 defense. When you got all that firepower, it's easy to win games. Like you said with Tua.
Easy to look good too.
Yeah.
So I imagine him playing on a different team right now with half that talent, or someone like a Carolina.
You saw what
team.
happened. Hey, stop playing with me, bro.
You put Brock Purdy on Carolina Panthers right now.
Stop playing with me, bro. They probably better.
You saying Brock Purdy? The Panthers be better if Brock Purdy was their quarterback?
Yeah, because they caged Bryce. Bryce is not a system. Make this throw, make this throw, make this throw, make this throw, make this throw. Bryce is more of I can. If you tell me what to do, I know. Bryce is more like how we would be in the backyard. I can make it up going in the backyard, and I can improvise and do all that, and I can. Once I get comfortable in the rhythm, I'm gonna go like you saw this weekend.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe
Bryce a fighter. He'll scrappy.
Maybe he needs to follow the system because that backyard football don't work in the NFL. It works very sporadically. Brett Favre is the only quarterback I know who did that backyard football.
He's not a gunslinger.
Lamar Jackson does it a little bit too.
Who?
And Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are 2 quarterbacks that when they get in a situation where they got to scramble and make plays on the run. I've seen them like throw some crazy passes.
But
or,
I don't.
I'm gonna put it. He's more of a.
I don't
he's
think
more
Bryce.
Chris Paul. He's more Chris
Bryce
Paul.
Young
He's not gonna be.
Bryce Young has nowhere near the talent that Mahomes got though. Mahomes is once in a lifetime.
Mahomes got, but you got to look at Mahomes. What is Mahomes' talent? Just getting lucky.
He's got an
some
arm.
Of Mahomes.
I mean, he's got an arm.
I get an arm, but some of his passes are just lucky. Because if you watch some of his calls, he be throwing them up and all that stuff that they be like, "Oh, we love it." Some of that shit be almost getting picked off, and that's what's been happening.
I mean, like that Fort Myers song. It's 10% luck. I mean, you're gonna have to have luck to win games. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's gonna change this year. His season ended in the AFC Championship game. His whole career.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it can't be all luck.
Bryce got toughness. Bryce got resilience, and Bryce got the head. Once the physical and all that stuff comes with it, he'll be good. That's what I done seen Bryce take some hits.
Well, Brandon, you can't. I mean, unfortunately, he's 5'11". He can't grow to be 6'4". I mean, there's no exercise.
I don't need him to grow. He don't got to grow. Drew Brees didn't have to grow. Drew Brees didn't have to grow.
And you saying he gonna be Drew Brees?
Russell Wilson didn't have to grow to be a Super Bowl. Drew Brees was throwing on a deteriorating shoulder. Bryce Young don't got to grow. He don't got to throw for 4,000. Bryce don't got to throw for 4,000 to win games. That's it. He just got Drew
Brees had an offensive wizard at coach.
Sean Payton?
Yeah. Sean Payton is a wizard.
So why is Russell Wilson on the bench? Why is Russell Wilson on the bench?
I'm talking about when he was in New Orleans. And I think that's more so Russ than
I don't think Russ lost it.
Russ
I just think the system's
playing that bad,
outdated.
Though.
I think the system's outdated. Russ ain't been playing bad, but I think the system's outdated.
And you might be right, the system is outdated, but when the system was dated, them Saints were marching down the field.
It was the second greatest show on tours.
Yeah, now they struggled in the playoffs, but yeah.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's stats are not bad.
They got fucked over in the playoffs.
He's in top 10 in touchdown passes. He's only thrown 7 or 8 interceptions. I mean,
why he on the bench then? Why is he on the? That's what I don't know why he on the bench.
I know stats can be misleading,
like you're getting a scapegoat.
I mean, he hasn't looked terrible.
Well, I think he's older now. His game, he was like you said, he scrambled a lot in Seattle. Now he's older. He's taking a lot of hits, and that drop back reading that may not be his thing.
I truly feel like him and Sean Payton on the brink of separate. Like Russ is going to be out of there. I think.
Well, yeah, I don't
Y'all
know.
take Russ.
I
What
don't
trade would
know
y'all
if this
trade
is one
Russ
of
for
those
Dak?
things. I don't think no.
Nah.
I don't think
Ooh, both
Sean
no.
Payton. I don't think Sean Payton benches him, and then like unless he's just trying to preserve him for next year because they know this year they don't have a chance at making the playoffs. They don't want to get him hurt. Um, but I just really feel like because you've been hearing stuff come out of Denver all year, like but those two man just seems like they just I don't know. I just don't feel like they really click like other quarterbacks and coaches
Sean
do.
Payton. Sean Payton a lot like Jimmy Johnson and Russell Wilson. He's more of he wants to be coddled, and Sean Payton's not gonna coddle him like Pete Carroll did in Seattle, and that's
Yeah,
why
right. Yeah, that's
Richard
probably why it
Sherman,
ain't gonna
Cam
work out.
Chancellor, and Earl Thomas did not like Russell Wilson because they felt like he was getting coddled by Pete Carroll. Sherman was like every time they made a mistake, Pete Carroll would chew them out.
Bruh.
But then when
He
Russell
went to
Wilson made a mistake,
collegiate.
it'll be all
He went
right.
to
Don't
collegiate.
talk to Russ. He'll figure it out.
Sugar,
And
you
when you
know
got them
collegiate. He
dogs
went to
like
collegiate.
that, they gonna
Yeah,
realize like, wait a minute.
yeah, and I also noticed too, though, like speaking about that, I want to bring up something that some
Oh,
guys respond differently to the way coaches coach,
I
and
agree.
unfortunately, some guys on the team might feel a way because coach comes at them a certain way, but yet they treat another player differently. And I don't think it's because, and this is just me talking like my experiences. I don't think it's because the coach dislikes them more, so he yells at this group more, and he likes this guy more, so he doesn't yell at them much. I just really think it's the person, because there comes a time where like you come from an old school background where coaches they just chewing everybody out, right? You know, football, basketball, like they don't care. Like if you mess up, they gonna have your ass, like and they gonna embarrass you, and they gonna do all these things to try to get you to stop making these mistakes. And they treat everybody the same. Somewhere along the lines, over the years, I don't know what's happened. I can't necessarily say what it is, but nowadays, you got more and more coaches being more sensitive towards their players. Like they really getting to know their players and trying to figure out what's the best way to talk to this guy or motivate this guy. Like some dudes, you can yell and fuss and cuss at them, and it'll light a fire under them, and you can get results. Other guys, if you take that same approach to them, they shut down. They don't know how to respond. You actually make the problem worse. So as a coach, you got to figure out, how do I talk to this guy? How do I motivate him? What makes him tick? And that's how you address him. Now, I don't know if that's the case with Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson, he seems like, a dude that's very, he doesn't, I don't know how exactly, or what the word is I'm trying to find, but he's not like the average typical athlete. Like he's very, like he's wholesome. Like, he's
yo, you
out
calling
there.
athletes scoundrels?
Like no, I'm serious. Like he's very like a wholesome like dude. Like we see him all the time on social media and like all the things he does for his wife. How he regards her versus how other people have in the past and how they treated her. Super religious, like all these different things. He just good-hearted human being. Living life the right way, treat people the right way. He
I
doesn't cuss, doesn't swear. Like just typical, like just clean image. And like we have a tendency, and not just with athletes, but people who are like this. We can't yell at these people. We can't be mad at them. We can't fuss at them. Like we talk to them differently. Just naturally, we talk to them differently because of how they carry themselves. Versus somebody like a Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas, a Cam Chancellor. These dudes are in your face, like the attitude that they bring, the personalities, you know, are very rough. They're rowdy. So they get met with that same rough and rowdiness from their head coach because the head coach sees that and they're like, "Oh, this is what they respond to. So this is how I'm going to coach them." Versus a Russell Wilson type player who's not like that. He's the complete opposite end of the spectrum on that. You tend to kind of, it's just harder to be frustrated at those types of guys when
I agree,
they're,
Trigger. I agree
like
with
so.
you.
Like I said, I don't know if that's exactly why Pete Carroll treated him that way versus other guys on the team. But if I had to say what I think it is or what it looks like to me, is based on my own experiences playing on a bunch of basketball teams. I've seen this happen with coaches, how they get after certain guys versus others. Um, nowadays, especially with everyone being sensitive about everything, coaches are, and it's good for the coaches too, because you get to actually know your players. Like you don't treat them all the same. I know back then there was a fine line between coach and actually having a relationship with the player. It was just I'm your coach and that's it. Nowadays, coaches are like, they know about your personal lives. They know about who you're dating, your kids. Like they know all this, especially at the professional level, because your family's around all the time, so they know things about your family. So it's a little bit more personal. So
I think
when you're
I
doing
think it
things,
goes to say what y'all both said though. Sean Payton's an older coach, and
yeah,
Russ has that stigma of he needs to be coddled. And I think Sean Payton's like, yeah, I'm not Russ. You're a vet. I'm not
yeah,
coddling
yeah.
you at all. Like,
I think the personalities
I think he's
are
going at him
different.
in the public, and I think this benching, the public, how public this benching is it may be him going at Russ like I'm not gonna be like Pete Carroll and hold your hand through it. No, you're playing bad. I'm gonna tell you you're playing bad, and you need to get better. And if this boy come out here and throw this ball better than you, everybody else is gonna start saying that too. And I think that's gonna put more pressure on Russ, and that's gonna have everybody else come after him more than it's just like, oh, does Russ take it as like Sean Payton, you're being mean to me? Not to say it in that sense, but like how everything you just described, he ain't never had a coach. Maybe he ain't never, from where he grew up in there, he ain't never had a coach that's why he transferred from
Oh no, yeah,
schools, and
he
he ain't never had nobody really get on him like that.
he went to a private school in Richmond with collegiate. Yeah, no, he ain't never had that type of thing. But Trigger, I agree with you 100%. I never coach, but as a teacher, you can't treat all your students the same. What I could say to little
Yeah.
Jaquil, I can't say to little Allison
Mm-hmm.
because they were gonna respond different. But I agree that's a good point you made.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said nowadays. Like coaches are more personal with their players. Like they get to know them, and like you find out, like I said, what makes them tick, what makes them go, what motivates them, and you try to use that to keep them motivated, to keep them doing the right things that you want them to do, so that you get them to produce the results that you're looking for. So yeah, part of that is with discipline. Like you got to be a hard ass on some guys because that's what they respond to.
Mm-hmm.
And other guys, you do that, like, you know, they don't respond
I
well
think
to it.
Sean Payton a hard ass coach though. I think Russ
He
maybe not
is,
responding. I think he's saying he's
he
not
is,
responding.
and
And
and this is, and I'm gonna go to basketball here because like with Miami, the Miami Heat, a perfect example, right?
shout
Pat
out,
Riley,
shout out,
Pat
shout
Pat
out my
Riley,
rook, my rook.
Pat Pat Riley is as old school as it gets as a basketball coach. I don't know if I told y'all this or not, but I remember D Wade that came out recently and said that when LeBron first got to Miami, he wasn't a big fan of Eric Spoelstra as the head coach. He was
Mm-hmm.
talking to D Wade about, hey, you get Pat Riley back down here, like Pat Riley on the sideline. And D Wade looked at him and said, "You don't want that.
Yeah, I remember that.
You don't want that.
Yeah, I want
You,
that.
you, so you don't want Godfather to come down here and be the coach of this team." He's like, "I did that in '06 with Shaq, and yeah, I mean, old school. Like coming in, he didn't. Riley didn't care if they had back to backs. If your ass didn't do something in practice or in the game, he would come in there and if y'all had a game that day and he didn't feel good about something and y'all needed to be disciplined. He wasn't against making y'all run and do run suicides or whatever. Like damn the rest of the 82 game schedule and all these long stretches of playing. Like, I don't care about your rest and your legs or whatever. Like, this is how I'm gonna get my message across. Y'all hit that baseline. That's the type of coach that he was. And Eric Spoelstra obviously a little bit differently. But the point is, playing in a Miami Heat uniform, you got to be a special or a certain type of player that fits what they're trying to do. Like, they want guys that have certain personalities that play for their team. Like, not anybody can play for the Miami Heat. Like Kevin Durant, I love him. He's a great player. He would not work out in Miami.
Oh no.
His personality and the way he carries himself, how how he responds to every little piece of criticism out there in the media of him, like he wouldn't make it in Miami. Like that culture, they're very real about their players and what they do. Like Pat Riley called out Kyle Lowry for being fat. basically, in so many words. And he challenged them. Said, hey, there's a requirement to play on this team. You have to be, at this position, at this height, you have to be this weight in order to play. It's in your, it's it. For what I found out, all the players have to abide by this rule. They have to be at a certain weight and a certain body fat to play for the Miami Heat. I don't know if every team is like that, but the Miami Heat is like that. And they got on Kyle Lowry, and I guess he worked his way into shape, and he's still there. But that's the type of stuff you do. Like they called him out, and Kyle Lowry, didn't say anything. There was no back and forth. Like he went with it because he knew it was the truth. He went with it. He did what he needed to do, and he's still there. In the lineup. If you do that to a Kevin Durant, you think Kevin Durant just gonna take that and just not say nothing? No, no. So with Miami, man, they're coaching a specific way, and they want specific players that'll be responsive to that type of coaching. They're not going to be going back and forth and I'm a coach this guy this way, I'm a coach this guy that way. They coach all their players the same, but all their players respond to that type of coaching the same way too. So that's why it works. They get these guys that we never hear about, these undrafted guys or whatever. They go and find these players because they have that mindset. They have that dog mentality. You can say whatever you can to get them motivated. They won't get offended. They won't shut down. They'll respond. They'll get me results. So you got to be a different type of player with a different type of mentality to play for the Miami Heat. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. The coach is going to be hard on you. Like, that's what it is. And you're going to have that, be able to deal with that, or have that in you to deal with that in order to play there and be successful. But obviously the NFL is different. You got a bunch of players and a bunch of different personalities, and you're trying to figure out each one and how each dude is, or what they're responsive to, and go from there. But in this day and age, you try to coach everybody the same, and you got a bunch of different personalities. Like the NBA, you can kind of control who you get, and you can kind of be a little picky and get the player you want. With the NFL is you kind of have to take what's available, take what's there, what will be helpful. Um, yes, dudes are more expendable. I feel like in the NFL, but you also, with 53 dudes on your roster or more of the practice squad, everybody's not going to have that same dog mindset. Some dudes are going to naturally respond to things differently just because the numbers say that it's going to happen because it's so many of them. So I don't know what it is. You kind of have to figure that out. As a coach, who you can talk to a certain way, who you can't, and if players going to have issues with it, hey, I get it. But everybody functions differently. Like you don't know what someone went through in life to make them the way that they are. Like
Hey,
everyone's
look,
different.
fellas, my phone about to die, so I'm gonna have to head out a little early. All right.
All right, brother.
All right,
I was
bro.
about to get
All right, y'all have a good one.
you
Yes,
too,
sir.
brother. True.
Yes, sir.
We gotta
What you
make
got?
these picks because I gotta head out here soon too. Because we got Disney. We got actually Disney World tomorrow, and they gotta get the head right. Gotta get the head right.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
What
All
you
right,
up to though?
so
You ready for the seven? You ready for the seven? We coming down. We coming down as a unit.
all right, it's gonna be
You
a
better
good
not
one.
lose. You better not. I'm gonna be out there like Coach Carter if you lose. He gonna be out there like Timo Cruz on the knees.
hit the
2,000
baseline.
suicides.
Everybody get on the baseline right after the game. Just run. Well, I'll tell you, but college was fun. We'd be on the, we go play a game. Coach won't happy. Yeah, I was running after the game.
But
We
that's
didn't wait
why I
till the next.
think
We didn't wait till practice
to
the
the
next day. We
Russell
guys was
thing,
out there running there.
you got an old school coach. You got old school owners who don't care about the money. Lady and Ray, you missed the rant. He went on the rant earlier. Uh, you got old school coach. You got old school owners who don't care about the money. Is Russ really doing bad, or you think this is Sean Payton trying to say like, "Hey, get on your shit"?
I think it's more so with Sean Payton telling him, to get on his shit because he even came out. Remember they had that little incident. Well, I wouldn't say an incident, but
Mm-hmm.
um, when he came out and made the comment, he was like, he needs to stop kissing babies and like,
Yeah,
worry about playing football or whatever. Like, and I'm like, that's who Sean Payton is. He's a tough dude, and like, he's tough on his players, and um, like I said, Russ Wilson, he got that image as this perfect, ideal like dude, like just always doing the right thing, always
yeah.
saying the right things to the media. He's never, been in the media for bashing anybody. Um, he's not, he don't cause no trouble. He don't cuss. Like he just a clean cut, just straight, just the type of guy you want to bring home to mama if you're dating him. Like you want your mama and your parents to meet him. You want to invite him to dinner and all that stuff. He's that type of dude. And you know, Sean Payton just he's the opposite. I'm not saying he's a terrible dude like behind closed doors like he's a bad family man or whatever. He treats people bad, but he just you just look at Sean Payton. Sometimes you're just like, man, dude just looks like he just about like he just looks
Evil,
pissed to me all
evil.
the time. And I think that's just the passion, the fire, or
I can say
being the
evil. You
coach.
right.
Like but with him
But
and
he gotta
Russ
take
is
a
an
shit.
interesting. It's an interesting dynamic with him and Russ because they're just. I feel like from what we've seen and what we know, they seem like two different people in the football world, and I just don't. I just get vibes, man. Where I just feel like it's not gonna last long. Like I know they gave up a lot to get Russ, but they could probably still get something for him if they were to trade him elsewhere. Get some draft picks back, or even a quality player in a position of need. Um,
You trade
yeah, Russ still
Russell
got
Wilson.
a lot in the tank. Like I said, his numbers haven't been bad this year. It's not like he's out there turning the ball over every week, or he's not throwing touchdown passes. He's not doing his job as a quarterback. He's just not winning. The team's not winning, but you
Yeah.
can't put it solely on Russ if the team's not winning.
Or Russell.
Um, but that defense, I think, has failed them because they're supposed to be a lot better than what they put out. And he lost some weapons on offense to some season-ending injuries earlier, way back earlier in the season. So, I mean, it's not all on him. I think he's done a pretty good job based off what happened last year um, to this year. It's a night and day difference. Um, but as far as the long-term solution with him and Sean Payton, I mean, for me right now, I can't see them being together in the future. Maybe they get this thing one more year after the season. Um, I don't know, and I could totally be reading too much into this because, again, I think I said it earlier. Maybe he's benching Russ because he's trying to keep him from getting hurt, knowing that they probably won't make the playoffs this year. So I don't want
Yeah.
my franchise quarterback out here, just playing just to play and possibly getting some kind of season end injury or whatever that's going to keep him out for most of next season when we can come back, hopefully everybody healthy and, put out a better effort. So I'm going to say that's why they benched him is the fact that they're just trying to protect him. He does have a lot of miles on the body now. Given how long he's been in the league, um, how he's been playing at a high level for so long. I'm saying they benched him just to preserve him and get him ready for the next season. Um, they did say he would be the backup though. It ain't like they demoted him all the way to the third stringer, say he'd be inactive. So that's interesting too. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
hoping that he benches him
It's a lot.
because he's
It's a lot,
his
Drew.
health. But I would not be
Drew.
surprised if he was trying to see what Stidham has at the QB position and maybe make a decision this offseason whether or not, keeping Russ would be best in the team's interest going forward. So
Like the Raiders are getting with O'Connell, with Aiden O'Connell. You seeing what do we have? Like honestly, what the
yeah,
Brock Purdy
yeah,
treatment? What do we have at quarterback?
yeah,
What
yeah,
Gardner
exactly.
Minshew? Like
Exactly.
all these guys. Bryce is in that right now. What do we have at quarterback? And based off my not the first drive, don't go off my first drive emotions. Go off of I think we got us one. I think we got us one. We gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see.
Yeah,
I like how the
you gotta
offense is
wait and
looking.
see who they
Offense looks
put
better.
around him. I think they
Yeah.
can put some better pieces around him, and we'll see what he does with that then. And then obviously the coaching change,
Yep.
if that's going to be that's obviously going to play a big role as well. Who the offensive coordinator is, quarterback coach, all that's going to have an effect on him. So I think it's all about getting the right system around him, the right players, and the right coaching.
All right, Trigger. Thursday night football. Jets at the Browns. Who you got?
Got to roll with Cleveland, man. They've been looking really good here the last few weeks, and you thinking, man, they went through what 3 or 4 quarterbacks this year, and they're about to
Hmm.
be in the playoffs. They're well over 500.
That's
What
that
what they
defense,
let's say
man.
9-5 is the record.
Yeah, that
10-5.
defense. Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco coming off the couch and
Joe
throwing that
Flacco done
ball
came back. Joe Flacco done came back from the dead and is about to make another
and
playoff
showed you
run.
what he looked like with a good defense. And showed you what he looked like with it. When I have a great defense, I win Super Bowl. I win Super Bowl. I got great
You know,
defense.
if the Browns
So
end up in the Super Bowl, where I'm gonna be, that would be insane. Insane.
I
Joe
mean,
Flacco in
Amari
the Super
Cooper.
Bowl.
Oh, Amari Cooper was just like, mm,
Yeah, Amari Cooper frustrates
mm.
me, man, because like he'll have a game like that, and then next
He
week he'll
begging to
come
stay in the
out.
game.
Next week he'll come out and he'll make one catch for 4 yards.
But now, Trigger, he had a big game last week. The week before last too, he had big games.
I've been looking at his stats
Amari,
over the course of the season. He's had like 4 or 5 games where he's had over 100. Everything else has been very, very like,
who's been his consistent quarterback like Joe?
hey, I don't want to hear that. I mean, this dude,
Deshaun, they got a
this
you got a decision with Deshaun Watson.
this dude has evidence of doing this, no matter who the quarterback is, how many quarterback has been, whatever teams or systems he was in or played for. Like Amari Cooper, that's what he does. Like he'll have a game where he's lights out. 10 catches, 150 yards, a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, whatever, and then he'll come back the next week and he'll have 2 catches for 13 yards. And he'll
Brother,
go 2 or 3 weeks in a row where he'll barely do anything and then he'll explode. And he'll go another couple weeks and he'll come back with another big game. And he'll go 2 or 3 more weeks, maybe 4 weeks in a row, and then he'll come back the fifth week and then boom. Like it's up and down. Like when it's up, it's up. When it's down,
he
it's
going to the
down.
playoffs,
Like
Trigger.
it is no. I don't know
Let
he's
me.
going to the playoffs, but I'm saying
He going to
I'm
playoffs.
not I'm not going to sit there and say that he's the reason why they're going to the playoffs.
Trigger, don't
Because
do that. Don't do that. Who
I'm
else is
not.
Joe Flacco throwing that? Him and David. I give you David and Joku. He throwing
Their
that ball to Amari
defense.
Cooper and David and
I'm
Joku.
talking about their defense.
They scoring. Joe throwing for 300 though. Trigger. Joe throwing for 300
Joe's
plus.
also turned the ball over a few times too. Like
A lot. And they
he
still
ain't been
winning.
clean. I
He
know,
having
but
that
their
games and
defense.
winning.
We
He
got to get
having
their
that
defense.
games and winning.
Their
That's what y'all
defense.
defense say.
Their
Y'all say y'all
defense.
defense. Oh, our
Who was
defense. Jared's like, oh, our defense.
who
That's
was
the
winning
best defense
games?
I've ever seen.
Who
That's
was
the
winning
no. It's
games
the
for Cleveland
same.
before Joe Flacco?
It's the same issue we both have, but yours is less of a reason than mine. Brian Burns and Michael Parsons need to be uh, Miles Garrett, and Trayvon Diggs and J.C. Horn need to have the consistency from what I see from Greg Newsom. And then we're really that defense, both sides. If Miles Garrett, I watch him play, you're not stopping him. Like Miles, I feel like Micah and Brian be going away, but I mean that's because they get double teamed, triple teamed, and they getting schemed away. So it ain't nothing on talent, anything like that. It's just why is it that Micah and TJ is gonna have a game, but the Nick Bosa's and I feel like some people disappear. But I feel like Miles Garrett is just always he's doing something. Blocking a
Yeah,
field goal,
I don't know. Yeah,
getting a sack like
I have the
TJ
same
Watt
questions about Michael Parsons.
interception.
Like he's had way too many games where he's disappeared this season, and I don't want to hear it because they're running the ball. Like go fucking tackle somebody. Like I don't know, but the other guys like T.J. Watt and Bosa, they always have an impact on games. Like T.J. Watt leads the league in sacks again this year. Like everyone knows from the scouting report, hey, we got to block this man, but yet he still finds a way to get to the quarterback.
And
Like
then
why
he'll
can't my
drop
guy
off and
do that?
he'll get a pick. He'll drop off, get a pick. He'll get a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, why can't my guy make those plays? Like teams know to run two guys at him and double team or whatever, and yet they do it to these other dudes and they still find a way to affect the game. But my guy gets blocked, and it's like, oh, they got me. He just it's like
Miles Garrett out here playing basketball trigger before snaps. My man doing crossovers before snaps. But at least
hey,
they move. At least y'all move Michael around. We don't be moving Brian around. I see. We've been putting Brian Burns and Derek Brown next to each other. Ooh, ooh, trigger.
I feel like
Yeah.
they need to move Michael the linebacker on the players they know the team's gonna run the ball, so he can get somebody to kind of put a cap on things. Because obviously, if you put him on the edge to rush and they're running, he's not gonna be able to rush the quarterback. The quarterback's handing the ball off. So I don't know. That's just me, but
Hey, Joe Flacco is. Hey, Cleveland got a decision to make, and that took me down a rabbit hole that I wanted to say. We got an offseason where Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Kyler Murray may all be on the trade market
it could be.
or release.
It could be.
So Detroit and Dallas, Saturday, December 30th, 8:15, the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Detroit. They the hot
Oh,
team right now.
yeah, they are hot, and they squeaked one out
Well, no,
against Minnesota.
actually, nope. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna change it. I'm going with Dallas because Detroit won the division. They may be resting people. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trigger.
They could still give potentially get the number 2 seed if they win this game against Dallas because they have a better
Well,
record than Philly, who's the leader of our division. So they want seeding. They might play everybody, which I expect them. I don't think they be resting nobody that early because you rest them this week, it means you rest them the following week, and you're not going to get the first round bye. So you're gonna have guys miss 2 weeks of playing, and you're gonna bring them back like that. Never, I feel like that never works out well. When you rest players in the regular season, the last 2 weeks, or leave the last week, and then you come out and try to, you're out of sync. That's why teams lose football games when they do that.
oh, I
Um,
know. You
but
gonna make me pick? Man, I'm gonna go
they
with the
better
D,
they,
and we'll
they
figure
better
it
they
out.
better keep them starters in there and let them get those reps so that their bodies continue to be used to it, making those motions and those movements. Um,
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think
but I'm
I'm
picking
still gonna go Dallas. Detroit may have blow their load with the
I'm
championship
I'm,
win.
I'm picking Dallas because Detroit barely survived the Vikings team.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, I know that was a division matchup for them, and division matchups always tend to be tough for everybody, no matter what the team's records are going into those games. But I think that Detroit's been on a little bit of a streak here, and they've been playing good football. But Dallas is home. They don't lose at home. Haven't lost at home this year. They're riding a 2-game losing streak, and they're frustrated. I know,
Yeah.
and they're itching for a win. So I think they come out. They play good football. They drive the ball. I think Detroit's defense can be had. I worry about their offense and our defense stopping their offense because they can run the ball. They have a very,
Sam
very great
Sam
run
Laporta gonna drop.
duo.
So I'm betting Sam
They
Laporta
have
over 50 yards.
very good duo. Jameer
Sam
Gibbs,
Laporta over 50 yards.
Jameer Gibbs, and David Montgomery are going to run it down their throats if they let them. Obviously, St. Brown, the receiver, he's a stud. He's going to probably have a 100-yard receiving day. And
Sam
obviously,
Laporta.
Jared Goff, if he's able to manage the game,
He ain't gonna stay.
they have a
He
pretty good
mad.
shot. They have a better, I think they have a better offensive line than we do. Um, One of the top in the league. Um, so again, I feel like if we can get pressure on the quarterback, kind of speed him up a little bit, we can force him into some errant throws, and maybe we'll have a chance to get opportunistic because we don't turn the ball over on the road. We only do that at home as well. Um, so yeah, I think this game right here with Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor, Dallas coming in off a 2-game losing streak against two teams that, obviously over 500 that we should have beaten on the road. They didn't beat on the road. Now they're coming home against another team that's over 500, and it's another test for them. I think they're itching for a win. They're desperate, and they're going to play like it, at least for this week.
So you're
I
going
think
with
they'll
the
win.
dirty D in Dallas.
Yeah, I think they're going to win this game, and I think it'll be by like 10 or more. Give them a double-digit victory.
On that game trigger, which I think is crazy and should have been in prime time. Miami at Baltimore.
We'll go
I'm
with
going with
Baltimore.
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 Lamar
Dallas.
cements his MVP
Dallas.
case.
If that Dallas defense held them to only one touchdown, I can only imagine what Baltimore's defense may do to them.
They said they can't beat the good teams. Y'all was the first good team they beat.
Wow, are we a good team?
Hey, y'all think either the
On
Chiefs a good
paper.
team? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it later. We're gonna talk about the Chiefs. They don't.
On
That's
paper,
why
Dallas is
when
a good
Miles
team.
said that,
They don't play like it. The
I said
Chiefs, man.
Patty ain't looking. Patty ain't looking like Patty.
I tell you what, they lead the AFC West. They're 9-6. The
They ain't used to playing on the road in the playoffs.
if the Chiefs lose, if they lose out, and if Denver wins, Denver will win the division.
No, Raiders can still win the division. They was talking
That
about it
too.
last night.
So like
I
they
mean, the other
benching
night.
Russell. They benching Russell Wilson. I mean, the Chiefs might not be a shoe in to win this thing.
That's how the Raiders make the playoffs if they win the division. They need help, of course, but they. All right, Trigger. We got New England and Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo.
Yeah, I
Buffalo.
picked Buffalo. Another division matchup. I feel like Buffalo's probably gonna make it interesting, like they did against the Chargers. But obviously had no problem against Dallas. But these bad teams, they seem to struggle with. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game, AFC East matchup. But I think Buffalo will find a way to win.
Maybe Dallas ain't that hard to figure out.
They really aren't. Just run the ball against them. That's all you gotta do.
But Carolina run the ball.
If Detroit is smart, they will run the ball with Gibbs
If
and
you put the ball in the
Montgomery
air though,
on
bad
Saturday.
things will happen.
If Detroit was smart, they run the ball every chance they get.
Atlanta at Chicago. I'm going Chicago.
See, again, these two teams that you just don't know what you're going to get on a week to week basis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Chicago as well. Justin Fields over whoever's quarterbacking for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a future
Tennessee
Falcon.
or Houston. Could be.
Houston.
I wonder if CJ coming back.
Is Stroud playing? If Stroud doesn't play, saying Tennessee might win. I don't know.
If he doesn't play, I'm
gonna go with Houston.
I'm worried if he didn't come out, I'd be worried. CJ Stroud returns to Texas practice in phase 4 of the concussion protocol. He is in phase 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston.
I'm gonna go Houston as well. You got the Raiders at the Colts. I'm going with the Raiders.
Raiders at Colts. They have been feeling themselves lately. Yeah.
Colts been on a little spiral.
Yeah, put me down for the Raiders as well.
Carolina at Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is questionable.
We'll go with Jacksonville.
Without Trevor Lawrence. Against the top 3 defense. Carolina team that's put up 23 did they put up? No, they put up 30 last week. I guess I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence can give us that ball. Trevor Lawrence gonna throw us some picks.
He will.
He gonna throw us some here.
Yeah, he'll
He
give
did
you a
not
good.
practice Wednesday. He sustained a sprained right AC joint. It's feeling decent, a little bit better today. Last couple of days has been progressing, still sore, but it's feeling a little bit. Yeah, he playing. So it's saying CJ Beathard will start, but I think he's gonna play because this the guy that had a high ankle sprain and he came back next week. So I think he'll be back to play. So I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
I'm going Carolina. I'm going Carolina.
hey, keep pounding.
That's right. It's in Jacksonville. I wish I could go to the game. I mean, I can't go to the game, but I should go to the game. Lay right. Everybody love Bryce. Bryce is actually a likable guy.
I don't like. I don't
Los
like him because
Angeles.
he played for Alabama, and I hate Alabama.
Yeah, because Bryce beat that ass.
Yeah. Well, no.
LA at New York Giants.
Rams at Giants. Rams. They've
I'm
been
going with
playing
the
some
Rams
good
as well. Well,
football
I don't
lately.
know. It depends on if Tyrod starting.
No, I still like the Rams.
Who did Tyrod? Who did they almost beat the Eagles? They almost beat the Eagles. Tyrod almost beat the Eagles.
Yeah, Philly just. I think Philly is. There's some rumors going on around that team about locker room potentially just not being on the same page. Certain guys, there's an energy, there's an aura that just isn't right with Philly. Like even after the win against the Giants this past Sunday or Monday, um, there has been talks about things still being off there. Like in the locker room after the game, they had music playing, but like nobody was happy or like celebrating.
Yeah.
Like it just felt off. It didn't feel like a team who had you know felt good about ending a 3-game losing streak for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's something to look out for.
A lot of
All
outsiders
right.
are getting some feelings that it's not sunny in Philadelphia.
And it's not always sunny in Philadelphia. You said it. All right, Trigger. My upset of the week, Arizona at Philly. I'm going with Arizona.
My heart saying Arizona, but my mind is telling me Philly. So I'm gonna pick Philly.
Trigger going Philly. You should listen to your heart.
I want to
I
be
think
wrong
Kyler
though.
Murray come out here and run that defense into some shambles. The secondary hasn't been playing well at all. James
Yeah,
Conner and Kyler Murray is gonna come in here and RPO the crap out of them, and I think that defense can hold it together against a struggling Philly offense. And Philly
yeah,
defense is, I don't know, maybe they get it together with Matt Patricia this week,
yeah.
or if
I
it's Matt
don't.
Patricia.
I would not be surprised if Philly dropped one of these last two against Arizona or the Giants again because they got to go to New York in Week 17. And you see how the Giants played them in Philly. It was pretty tough, pretty tight. So the Giants being at home against Philly, they might, they might actually win that game. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Division matchup, again, I said it earlier. Don't matter what the records are. These two teams play each other twice a year. They know each other very well. Either one could win that game. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants won that one. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to Arizona either because Arizona's been playing tough even though they've been losing games. Like they've been getting blown off the field in a lot of the games that they played. Some teams they played really, really tough and they just came out on the losing end.
Yeah,
So they could, and Kyler Murray's back now, so they could very well, sneak and get a victory on them. But I feel like Philly's gonna win this one, especially the way things ended, this week with the Giants. Um, they might that might be a good thing that they weren't all excited about it. It means their focus They know there's bigger things ahead, so they're gonna take that anger and that energy and take it out on the Cardinals. So we'll see. But I think they'll win. It might be another ugly victory, but I think
Ugly
they win.
win. A win is a win. All right, chicken. New Orleans and Tampa Bay. I'm going with Tampa.
Yeah, I'm riding with Tampa. They've been looking real good the last several weeks. They beat the Jaguars. I mean, just absolutely smacked them several times.
That's what Carolina gonna come
And
in there and
the
do it on
Saints
Sunday.
and the Saints have just been up and down this year. I don't trust Derek Carr at quarterback for anybody he plays for. I just don't. I just don't see it with him, man. I really don't.
I think he plays hurt, and he shouldn't play hurt.
Yeah, I don't know what the case is with him, or but I feel like he has potential to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league, but but he makes some great throws and produces some great plays, and then there's times when he has stretches, man, where he just it's like what are you doing,
Yeah,
But yeah, I would if Jameis Winston was playing a quarterback, I would pick the Saints to win. That's the only man that can save him right now. Oh, Jay Boo, Florida
Jay
State's grinding.
Boogie. All right, Trigger. You got San Fran at Washington. I know you're going with Washington.
San Fran. Obviously, I would love for Washington to win just for them to, everyone to hit the panic button. Like, oh my God, San Fran lost to Baltimore, got smacked at home, and then y'all lose to a 4-win Washington team.
Hey, this
Like, can
might
you
be the game.
imagine?
This might
Can
be a
you
game.
can you imagine the headlines if San Fran loses to the 4-10 Washington
Eric
Commanders?
B. Eric B. didn't had him in the Super Bowl. He know how to. He know what they do.
Or 4 and
He
11.
might.
Sorry, they're 4 and 11. The 4 and 11 Washington Commanders. If the oh my goodness, the sports media is going to explode. Like it's gonna be the
Yeah,
topic. They lose that
yeah,
game.
yeah. It'd be bad. You got Pittsburgh. I'm going San Fran as well. You got
Yeah,
Pittsburgh at Seattle. I'm going with Seattle.
Seattle, Seattle, 100%.
You
When
got
Geno
Denver
start,
at oh
they can put Drew Lock in at halftime. Same thing. It's going Seattle's winning.
Denver at Los An. I'm sorry, Los Angeles Chargers at Denver.
The old
Study long,
stick
study wrong.
Keenan Allen's on. I'm gonna go with Denver. Change at QB.
Ooh, that's what I picked.
Yeah,
I picked Denver as well.
yeah. I'm gonna pick Denver in this
I
one,
think I think
just so they can
Stidham
add
comes
some
out there and
extra
plays
drama.
that ball.
Just to add some extra drama, especially if Kansas City loses again. Add some extra drama. Is like, yo, okay, Russell
And
Wilson go back in the lineup, or like keep him on the bench. Oh, it'd be
and they've been
so
getting
controversial.
and well Easton Stick put him had him what six not Easton Stick Easton Stick Aiden O'Connell had him what 63 7 something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That is
So,
me. Sean Payton might go out there and put something on, man. Sean Payton like to score,
oh
and
yeah,
that
yeah, we
defense is
know that.
defensive. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
That's why I say.
Cincinnati at Kansas City. No Joey B, but it's Patrick Mahomes. Is Joey B
Yeah,
back
I
or is it
think
Jake Browning?
they had the
No,
loss
he out
of
for the year.
the Raiders. I think really hurt their pride. I think they were looking to avenge that against a gettable Cincinnati team. No Joe Burrow.
Ooh, I
So
picked
I
Cincy
pick
to win.
I'm picking Kansas City to win. I don't think they lose two in a row, but boy, would it be interesting if they did. The AFC West would get a whole lot more interesting now. We got the Raiders and the Broncos. If the Chiefs lose, they're 9-6 right now, which is crazy to think about. Like what? You're almost at 500. You're only 3 games over
Mm-hmm.
500. Like what? This late in the season, you let the Chiefs lose this game in
The
Denver
Taylor
and the
Swift season
Raiders.
at that.
And Denver and the Raiders win. Oh my goodness, the drama. Woo! Boy, it's getting real dramatic
Into
here
the
the
thick
last
of it.
couple of weeks, man. If a
Into the
couple
thick of
teams,
it.
man, before the Niners lose again, if the Chiefs lose, it's gonna be some drama on that end.
All right,
And I'm
Trigger.
here for it.
It's gonna be a good one. A good one. Okay. Green Bay, Minnesota. I'm going with Green Bay.
Green Bay, 100%.
They're gonna show why Carolina was the best team by putting up
Jordan
73 points.
Love, Aaron Jones is finally healthy.
Oh, and that's our Sunday night game too. Green Bay, Minnesota, and that's the
Oh
schedule for the
wow,
week.
that in the prime time spot. Okay.
Football is almost done. So, Trigger, we gotta start getting into basketball. Talking about basketball. I told you, Rook. I told you, Rook. I told you. He a super
Oh yeah,
Christmas Day.
yeah,
He a superstar.
yeah. I was not expecting this kind of production from him right away, but man, is it needed? He's become a key fixture. Cause you know
Coach
what
B.
rookies you
Coach
know
B
come
saw it happen.
what rookies do you know coming in, getting picked that late in the draft is gonna make that impact,
He a
right away.
4 year player, Trigger. He a
If he's
4 year
not a
player.
top 10 pick.
He a 4 year player, and he got
That's
picked
why I
first
say
round. I
I
was
think
like,
that
yeah, I had to go
yeah.
look at him.
That's what I think. The reason why he is what he is right now is because he was in college for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Miami Heat got them an absolute steal at that position. Picking, 27th or whatever it was in the draft and getting him, like, my goodness, what a steal.
And he go get
What
it.
a steal.
And I like he go take that ball to the hole, and he gonna go get it.
So he's very skilled. He play
He gonna
outside, he can
take
get to
that
the
ball.
basket, can shoot the three. That nice
Hey,
touch around the rim in the post. Yeah, he can do
Tyler
it.
Hero jump shot is. Mm. I saw him hit that one when he said, huh? Mm. I was like,
Brother,
oh my,
that three he hit when the shot clock
that
was
three
running
hit him
down.
right there. Yeah, that one. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's
he
the
was
one.
like 3 or 4 feet behind the 3-point line
Yeah,
too when he
he
hit
can't.
that.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
all
was
net.
like,
Yeah, I love that.
he looked
He's
like me
been
out there,
averaging.
brother. He looked like me out there. I was
He
like,
was he
oh,
was averaging an easy 25 a game before the injury, and he picked up where he left off when he came back. Man, I mean, he hasn't missed a beat. He looks sharp as
so
ever.
if you think about it, you can get him, Jimmy going, the Rook going, Bam going, and then get some contribution from a couple people on the bench. Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Trigger. We
Oh yeah, I agree. I still think
I
we.
mean, they didn't have Joel. They didn't have Joel. That's a
Yeah, I
whole
know, but
big caveat. But we
we
didn't
didn't
have
have
Jimmy.
Jimmy either.
We
We
didn't
didn't
have
have
Jimmy.
Jimmy either, so it was
We didn't
steep.
have Jimmy.
Neither team had their best player, so it
But
was.
they had Tyrese Maxey out there. They had Tobias Harris out there. They had everybody else, and
Hmm. No, I agree.
they was down by 21 at one point.
I agree. Yeah, they did. They had all their guys, well, most of it, except
If
for
Joel don't get another
Embiid.
MVP, it's a it's a travesty.
Yeah, I
And then me
think
and Trigger also going to talk about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you good. No, I was saying that. Yeah, you take them two guys out. Got an even more. Matchup is still even. And for them to go out and win that game, I thought it was big time because obviously Philly, I think, what's top three in the East right now. I think Miami's right now. They're in fifth, and they're riding like I think a 3-game winning streak. So yeah, looking
Well,
forward to them making this push right before All Star break here. We get hot in January. Hopefully, we're off a few more games, rise through the rankings a little bit, in top four, so we get home court first round of the playoffs, and then stay in that top four.
I wish the in season tournament was ending All Star Weekend. I really think that would have been like get the whole league there at the game.
No, I don't know. I really
I mean, I
don't know
get
how
the
that would
All Star
look.
Weekend aspect of it, and this the game you want to play hard, but just make All-Star Weekend a whole week, have it on a Friday, and then have the All-Star Weekend next weekend, or have it on a Tuesday in the city. I don't know. They could work logistics out however they could to work. You could really do it on a Wednesday, Tuesday on the city, Monday, and like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you want to do it in the city, and then let it flow into All-Star Weekend. Then you can have like mid-season award. I don't know. That's getting too much and crazy, but. Chicken basketball looking good. Basketball looking good. It's job back and they 4-0, brother.
Yeah, huge game changer. I watched the first game back he had against the Pelicans, man. And when I tell you, to miss that much time, I mean, I know he was like working out and stuff um, on the side
But you
while
ain't
he
in
was
the
gearing
game.
up
You
for
ain't
his
getting the
return.
games feed, the
Yeah,
drama.
exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Like, you ain't had those kind of reps in a while, dating back to last season. So, like, for him to come in with all that going against him and to not only drop, 30 plus, and you hit the game winner,
Mm-hmm.
and now your team ain't lost a game since you've been back. Like, dude's been hooping.
Hoop,
He has been hooping, man, and
hoop.
he is fun to watch, man, when he is out there. I definitely missed him. I know the Grizzlies missed him as a whole because I had them in the playoffs this year. As long as he's there and he's healthy, they still got time to at least get to the play
They
in.
they gave y'all a 25 game lead. Josh said, I'll give y'all a 25 game
Yeah, but
lead.
they won a bunch of games here. By the time All Star break comes around, like they could be well in position to
Yeah.
make a run or have a playoff spot. I don't know.
All right. Before we dismantle, I want to ask you a question.
Hmm.
Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year.
I
And
can't
if
think of
no, who else you
anybody
giving
else.
it to?
I feel like you wouldn't be because he came in late in the season.
Week 13. He
Yeah,
took
I feel
over a
like
team that we can say probably won't go into the playoffs. Well, maybe they was close. They was on the fringe. Their division was one of the toughest divisions in football. Came in and are they number one in that division?
not the Ravens are.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
number two in the division.
3 games behind the Ravens for that spot. So I don't think they can catch the Ravens now to win it. They'll be a wild card team for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I can't think of anybody else who's come back from an injury or something that balled out this year. Um,
Jalen Ramsey. Mm,
I wouldn't say him either. But
Tua.
he missed half the season too. I'll probably give it to Tua if he don't win MVP.
Who else was on the injury?
Kyler Murray's come back, but he
Kyler Murray.
started late too. The Cardinals really ain't been
Deshaun
winning
Watson. Could you give it to
games.
Deshaun Watson for the first half of the season, or was he hurt too much?
No, I wouldn't.
That's why I say
Them
it could
boys.
be Joe.
Yeah,
We
you make
can
great
get him
points though.
past that.
In the toughest division in football, he comes in, mid-season or after really past mid-season, and he leads the team to the playoffs, and they actually go on and win a playoff game too. That would be huge.
The NFL they do theirs all the way through. So if he
Hmm.
if he do good in the playoffs, well, I don't think they say they say they don't, but because Cam got it, and then Matt Ryan got it the next year. I'm like, do y'all get it? Now Cam was the actual most valuable person on that team for that. I mean, Luke Kuechly, Josh Norman, everybody had, but Cam Newton took Jericho Cotchery, Philly Brown, Ted Ginn Jr., and Greg Olson to a Super Bowl,
Hmm.
throwing the ball, throwing the ball. And if we wouldn't have got cheated on that Jericho Cotchery catch, we uh we got Super Bowl ring. But we'll talk about that later at another time. Trigger, been another good one. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. All the people that tuned in. We was up to 5 viewers at one point in time. We had 5 people in here at one point in time, brother.
Yep. Growing slowly but surely,
Yes.
but growth nonetheless.
It's coming. 2024. Look out. We going. We coming. We come. Like Dion said, we come.
Mm-hmm.
And we bringing our bags with us. Yeah. It's Target. It's Central.
It's Target.
Central.
It ain't Louis, but it's Target.
It's Target. We ain't got Louis yet, but once we get there, we start getting some monetization. Still gonna be Target, but it's gonna be the higher quality Target.
There you go.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Stay humble, stay blessed, and always remember the Carolina Panthers are the best.
Oh my goodness.
What's your ending soliloquy, Trigger? Give Amber Ray her outgoing rant.
Outgoing rant. I don't have any rant. Like I say, man, it's hard to rant and be mad. 2 or 3 days after a game, especially a loss. If you could have caught me right when that game ended, I had so much stuff to say. But 2 or 3 days later, given a chance to kind of calm down and really see what happened in the game with a clear head, a clear, thought process. Like, it's hard to be mad and hold an attitude for that long. So get a bit of a watered down version on here. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing to rant about. And thank y'all for tuning in and for sharing your time, sparing your time, whatever little time that you could. Obviously, is greatly appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed. We love you all.
I'm gonna try to get around. I'm gonna try to get around on game day. Later, you usually at the house.
Hey, I don't. I'm usually not on my phone during the games. I'll be into it. Maybe after the game.
You can't go by any of my game messages. Don't go through any of my messages from the game.
During the game, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get any response from me unless it's an emergency. But after the game,
he responded last weekend.
Absolutely.
No, it was before y'all game. Hey man, I had to talk. Bryce was making me mad at first, but then he came back on. We had a second left on the clock. We ain't gonna talk about it. They got cheated at Green Bay, but we ain't gonna talk about it. But yeah, I'm gonna start. I may start going live during some games. We got Sunday. I may be doing some commentary on some games. Trigger, he gonna come. We're gonna get a Cowboys game. We may do that for the playoffs when it's not a lot of games. we may pop up on y'all for a live playoff reaction. Cowboys first round matchup versus the Bucks. I'll be the Bucks representative. You see, I got the colors in the background. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We in Florida. That's what we do. Even though we in Orlando, it's by Tampa. I passed Jacksonville Stadium, man. I really want to go Sunday. Bro, tickets probably like $3. It's Jacksonville, so they probably like
$3 to see the Panthers and the Jaguars.
Yeah, we 48 cents, 30.
Yeah, it'll be
Jacksonville playing for the division, so it's probably about 100.
I want to say, yeah, it'd be more expensive than that because Jacksonville actually has a shot to make the playoffs.
Hey, I want to go to this Magic Knicks game Friday. Now I see how the Knicks played on Christmas Day, and I saw that
Magic haven't been bad this year either.
Yeah,
they were top 3 or top 4 in the East at one point. Yeah, they might still be actually.
So, but all right, Trigger, I'm gonna holler at you, brother.
All right, be wise. Another great show.
Much love. Yeah, we'll be back sometime soon-ish. I don't know.
Yep, we'll get together.
I gotta take a nap. Once I take a nap, I'll let y'all know when we go back. You never know. We might pop up on game night. You never know. You never know. We will pop up. We might just pop up on do something right now. But all right, love y'all. Appreciate it. Thank you. Peace.